Welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast. Here is Munir Lazouzi from easymedicaldevice.com, and today we will talk about the MDR codes or IVDR codes. So there are two types of codes. So those codes that mainly notified bodies are asking you, or the codes that you need to provide on your technical file and you have some difficulty because you don't know which one to choose. Is this one correct, that one correct, etc. So we'll try to explain everything about the codes and also the consequences of choosing the wrong code. And for that, I have with me Stefan Bolleininger. So, Stefan, welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast.
Hello, Monia. Long time no see.
Yeah, long time no see, exactly. So, Stefan, maybe for people that don't know you, can you make just explain a few words about you, who you are, and what you are doing?
Sure. Hi, I'm Stefan. I'm a regulatory affairs consultant at Beyond Quality. So my company is a quality engineering team of Beyond Quality located in Germany. And what we do is we try to solve every problem for medical device registrations nearly worldwide. With all my cool colleagues, we can do nearly everything with every product to bring it to the market.
Great. So, in terms of this situation about MDR and IVDR codes, so maybe for people that are listening and they have not even started their process for registration, if we can explain to them what are these MDR code and IVDR code and where maybe they can find it.
Sure. We need to, in that point, distinguish between two different code setups. One, that's a easier ones. It's a so-called the MDA, MDN, MDS, and MDT codes. Those are the ones which are relevant for your certification pathway. So some MDA or the MDN codes are either for active medical devices or non-active medical devices. That's what the A and the N stands for. And these group your product based on the purpose of your product, what it can do or what it should do. And that makes your life easy for certification approaches. And then you have the two different additional ones, the MDS code, so with specialized sectors, which give you more intake or more intake or more knowledge about how the product has specific items like sterilization and other stuff, or like a medical device software. And then they have the last one, the MDT, the technology codes. These have specific ideas behind it, what your product is processed, like what you need to do during the certification procedure. If you don't find one of the MDT codes, which is quite often for the most of the devices, just use MDT 2011 because that's labeling and packaging, and hey, all products have a label somehow.
Exactly. So when we say, for example, MDA and MDN codes, so MDA, we said that it's for active devices. I just opened now the MDCG 2019 dash
13?
something. Can't remember the name. Dash
13
14.
or 14?
Dash 14, yeah.
14.
So here there is the list. And example of an MDA code, let's take the first one, the MDA 0101, which is for active implantable devices for stimulation, inhibition, or monitoring. So mainly this means that if my device is doing this kind of thing, I can code this one.
Exactly.
Now, if my device is doing that, plus it's also an implantable device,
Mm.
like MDA, let's say MDA 0104, which is active implantable device utilizing radiation and other active implantable devices. So, is there a hierarchy now, or is there like,
No,
I mean, how can I
no.
choose the or
In in
between this?
in that cases, it's in that case particular, it's pretty simple because you can either have a non-active or an active code. Either you have energy, then it's active, or it's you don't have energy. So in that case, it's a mutual super exclusive. However, in the package of the MDA or MDN codes, you could have technically more than one thinking that could be suitable. However, only one will really fit. And that one selects the one would fit the best because that selects a lot of your, on one side, is your notified body able to do that? On the other side, can you put that on a certificate pathway? Quite simple. Like when I think about for easier ones, things are go to class 2A medical device software, that would be code MDA 0315, and that code could fit all medical device software. So all software, standalone software is there. And that's good for you if you want to have the certificate, because then it is dealt with purpose. It's a software. However, then you are super open, and that's the difference between Europe and US. That is now you're open with a purpose, but not based on the indication.
Okay.
So one code can have multiple indications. And that's very, very important for those guys who come from US or go to US. That's a difference. Our codes in that area, in the MDA code area or MDN code area, we are based on purpose and not on indication.
Exactly.
Later on, when we talk about the EMDN code, we will go indication.
Unearth the pulse of the medtech world with MedTech Conf, a dynamic platform featuring global events on medical devices, biologicals, IVD, and pharmaceuticals. Stay informed, stay ahead, connect, share, and elevate your knowledge. Become an official sponsor. Make your event shine on the map. MedTech Conf, your key to the medtech universe. Remember, the future is now, and it's at your fingertips with MedTech Conf.
Okay. Here we talk about MDR, but we have also, as I said, MDA, MDN. You talked about MDT, which is for technology. And we have MDS, which is for specific characteristics.
Yeah.
Do you need to provide all those numbers, or because for me there have some requests just to provide MDA or MDN, nothing, and the rest is not needed. So is it needed for notified bodies to all those numbers, or only the first ones?
If you do not have an MDT code or an MDS, or if you don't have an MDT code, it's suspicious. Normally,
Okay.
each notified body looks for that you have at least one. If you don't find one, MDT 2011.
Okay.
So that should be the least choice. However, and that's the thing is, based on those codes, your certification and your auditor will be selected. So you need to have that for the complete fit. And all the other things like the MDS codes, there are products and you do not have a real MDS code. And sometimes, but in most cases, you will find at least one somehow fitting. It's not a problem if you use that one who is not perfectly fitting. However, that gives you a better opportunity for selecting the correct auditor with the correct depths of knowledge. Like for nearly every active medical device, nearly every, so most of them have something to do somehow with software. If firmware or anything, then you have MDS 1009 to be implemented, because it touches somehow everything with software. It depends on how you read it, but normally yes. And therefore you should do that. You should select MDS and MDT codes to ensure that you have the correct auditors. I had that done. I have that seen for one of my clients in the past. So they had selected everything. Everything was good. They didn't care about so much about the MDS codes. And then they wanted to expand their scope of the certificate. Normally, no big thing. They said, okay, new product, new technical file. But then comes the thing with, oh, you didn't have all the MDS codes implemented correctly with the first product. And now we need to add that again for a new one because they slightly differ. That means re-audit. And
Okay.
that's a mean point. Normally, you would think, hey, that's super simple. Scoping, technical file, new technical file. I send them in because it doesn't change anything on my quality management system. No worry, gives it in. Was simple. However, then comes, oh, with the auditor, the existing auditor, who you had, cannot do all the MDS codes you need now because the old one was not written. Therefore, you need to add that one, and that means you need a new auditor.
Okay.
And that's
not good because
No.
you have to pay more.
exactly it's rather uncomfortable.
Exactly. So we talk here about MDR, but we have also IVDR for in vitro diagnostics. So is it the same principle, the same thing, or not?
Yeah. Yes, it's no big difference. It's the codes are have slightly different namings because they are in vitro is a bit different than the MDA and the MDN. However, same principle, same systematic, just a different guidance with different numberings, but same. In that case, pretty cool, and that's nice that IVDR and MDR are aligned here quite well.
Yeah, exactly. So in that case now, I have my product, I look at these tables, I find the right one IVD code or MDR code. I give that to my notified body. So you said that the notified body will use that to select an auditor mainly.
Correct.
So meaning that I suppose they have already this auditor available for this type of code. I mean, or otherwise you cannot select this notified body.
Correct. For the MDA and MDN code, yes, because all the notified bodies are scoped based on those codes as well. So when you go to Nando database, you can see my notified body can do my products. And that's important for adding new products or what will be your long-term strategy and your long-term goal. And then on the next hand, they select the auditors fitting to you. For instance, when each auditor needs to be qualified. So when I see Munir, when I see you and myself, I can be qualified for electronic products. I can be qualified for labeling. I can be qualified for active devices, including software, but I have no clue about sterilization.
Okay.
So I will not fit. You have different knowledge, you have different size, you may fit for sterilization. So that might be needed that we have that pre-qualification needed to be done to apply for your company particularly and make sure that we have the right fit. And that's what a notified body will do with that code. So, and you as manufacturer or myself as manufacturer or all of our clients need to watch out if the notified body is able to fulfill the codes you need. And especially if you start newly with your medical device products and you want to bring them to the market and you do not want to call all 50 notified bodies, you look first at Nando. Is that notified body able to do my products? Yes. With the selected route of the conformity assessment, NX 9 or NX 1011? Yes. Good. Then you can go there. Then you skip a lot of your notified bodies already from the list. Makes your life easier.
Exactly. And as you said, notified body have within their team the auditors that have these codes, but tomorrow I can hire a new auditor that has maybe another code, and then the database will be updated again.
Then they need to run through a new accreditation for that particular new code, and then yes, they need to do that. But that's the notified body's problem, and I'm very happy that I don't have that to add new codes.
And in the case they lose an assessor that had this code, so it's the same again.
Then it's a problem. Yeah, yes. But in that case, if you have already certified your product, or you have already get a certificate for your particular scoped codes, then if they lose all the auditors in that area, it's not yet a problem.
Okay.
Because the certificate is already available and maybe yes or no, you need to be sampled on that code and then it could be updated. But as soon as I know currently, all the notified bodies try to fix and stay on their codes because that code is their revenue.
Exactly. And you said something important here because we talked mainly about choosing an MDR code or IVDR code for the selection of the auditor that will be doing the assessment and everything. In case, for example, this is a rare code, something that is really seldom. So it means that there are less resources maybe to do that, and maybe it can take also more time for making the assessment, I suppose.
Correct. Less capacity means longer times or less review times and specific other additional points which they need to conclude with. So in that cases, yes, that will be additional burden for manufacturers because less capacity, less options.
Exactly. And when you give that code, I suppose the notified bodies will open their books, check all the people who is available.
Yeah.
Oh, this one is available next month. This one is available in 1 year. This one is available, etc. And then they are trying to shuffle everything to find out some slots and some work for your company. So
Exactly.
This is also one of the problems is that when they are doing this check, it can take time also to find the resource and the availability.
Correct. Luckily, in the current state, at the point where we are currently recording the video, most of the notified bodies have sufficient capacities.
Yeah.
But that can change in a few years. You don't know. We just talked in the beginning about changes in MDR.
I have also heard that some notified bodies are close to bankruptcy because they don't have in-house application.
Wow.
I heard that.
Right?
I heard that there are even some notified bodies that are close to, so normally it should be fine to find a notified body on that at that moment.
Right.
Another point is also about the use of this MDR
Yeah.
code or IVDR code. You said about the selection of auditor, but there is also another usage for it, no?
Exactly. And then now we come to the point where the Quasar code are good and bad for your business.
Okay.
So that code resembles the qualification of your certificate, what your certificate can achieve. So that codes are your foundation. They're not on the certificate, so partly on, but not really, but they reflect then your indication-based EMDN codes. And based on that EMDN codes and the overall codes, it goes about what will be needed in a sampling or in an update of certificate. So assuming you have your certificate already and you have a few MDA codes and MDN codes. You have a few of them already? Good. Then you look into your existing additional codes about the EMDN codes. So the EMDN codes are the European medical device nomenclature, and they are indication-based and very close to a product and a product's indication. So bit more dealing with the US and with many other regulation parts. And based on those both codes, you can change, add, reduce, or change up your certificate. So assuming you have one product, let's start with the class 2A product. So you have class 2A certificate with one MDA scope and one EMDN product scope on that. So you want to extend your certificate because you have an additional product. So then you see, oh, that's a different EMDN code. First, no worry. Then you look into your MDA or MDN codes, MDS, MDT, and then you see, hey, all of those codes are same. Then it's just a simple notification request at the notified body and ask them, hey, please add a new EMDN code to my certificate with that new product. Yes, they cost you a few $1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000, depending on the notified body. And then you get that newly printed, and there is no additional technical file assessment.
And no audit also.
So no audit also, because they know, because of your existing MDA, MDN, MDT, MDS, that you are capable. And then you can put it on that list. And that's good. That makes your certification pathways quite more easy. So in that case, if you be clever, you start with your MDA or MDN code and add as much as good fitting MDS and MDT codes to your certificate as well. That lowers your auditor's area possibilities. However, that expands your EMDN code possibilities later on. And that's how you can deal with making your life easy, especially if you use a class 2A products with Annex 9, then this is your best opportunity.
So you can add more and more products inside as long as they are fitting with this,
Yes.
as you mentioned, MDA, MDS, MDT, etc. Even if you add more EMDN codes out of it, it will not really impact too much that.
No, that's something you can do within you add the product to the product list, then you request for a certification change, say change the certificate, see that everything is fulfilled you need to do, and then they add it on the certificate. No technical file change, no technical file assessment, no audit needed.
But if it's for class 2A, that.
For class 2A currently, let's just speak about class 2A. Let's talk about the class 2B on that end. On the class 2B works quite similar. However, in that case, you don't look also on the MDA code or MDN code, but also on the EMDN code. As long as you stay in your EMDN code, all good. So then if you go with a new EMDN code, then you need to go, in many cases, not in all cases, many cases, new technical file assessment, audit normally, not just technical file. However, now comes the good point, why we do such funny things we like that podcast. If you do your initial certification You split your product as good as possible to reach so many EMDN codes as possible for class 2B. Then you prove you have all your MDA, MDN, MDS, MDT codes, and many EMDN codes. One sampling per product code per certification run. And then you can do and add everything in that codes again. No additional things. So, and when you are clever and you can drive that procedure, you select the smallest and easiest product per code so that you just got the coverage done, like the spider in the web, smallest products per code, smallest, so filling all MDS, MDT, MDA, MDN codes, so the smallest effort, bring your certificate. And then you add the big products on it. That's what you should do.
Well, you take, I mean, it's a good tip here. You take the easiest product, which has the right MDR, MDN, etc. code. You pass the certificate with that, the technical file, the audit, everything.
Yeah.
And as the other products, the big ones are the same MDR code, the same EMDN, or the same scope as what you had before. You don't add any new code or any new things. Then it's just a notification, it's just a few bucks to pay, and then you are including them inside.
To make that a bit more plastic, I just I go to the medical device software because that's the easiest thing. So because it's the most funny. I start with a calculator about the BMI, the body mass index calculator, defines it as a class 2A, make it as a code MDA 0315, MDS 1009, MDT 20111, and some kind of fancy EMDN code, but I don't care about the EMDN code. So that's my first certificate. So calculation, what it can do, super fast, no cybersecurity because it cannot do anything with transferring data. It's just a calculator which can be done in 10 minutes by any kind of students. Documentation is wide more, so same standards apply. Everything is same, but the product's super small. And then with that product, and after that you have done that certification, you say, well, and now comes my clinical decision system planning suite with an AI algorithm, which has all the information to plan a surgery, still class 2A, everything which I need to include with some do the highest and biggest class 2A medical device software. And I just tell the notified body, well, do the change add me a new product with a new EMDN code, but I fulfilled all my MDA codes already. And that's the business.
Great.
That's the business. You can use that codes to your advantage. That's part of that, how you shall do that. Because with that annexes, they showed that you have certified everything correctly, and you are capable of delivering a software, no matter how big it is.
Hey, just a second. Do you need a EU, Swiss or UK representative? Then choose Easy Medical Device. We can represent you and also become your importer. Contact us at eo@easymedicaldevice.com. So if we summarize here, it means also that choosing the wrong code or choosing an approximate code can give you, maybe you are still on the right track for your products, but can give you more burden afterwards if you include a new product that maybe is not really matching with this code and with another code, etc. So if you have a specific field of work or a specific specialty on products, try to find a code that is matching with all these specialty instead of just a small piece, so that you can then save a lot of time and money and everything for the submission.
Exactly. Being clever saves a lot of effort and reduces your burden.
Exactly, yeah. So when you said also about the MDS, MDT, IVDT, IVT, etc., all those codes here that are there. So when you say add more as much as possible, what do you mean exactly? Because, can I add codes that I even have not on my product, or?
No. You need to put this. So when I say add as much as possible with the lowest effort for your complete product range. So you need to have that product. You need to be able to back it up by technical documentations. You need to back it up by products. However, you can play with that in the right format. Do that left, do that right. And well, if you want to scale it a bit, and make your lifetime a bit different, then you use the EMDN codes. So use the EMDN codes. First, you say, hey, these are all my products. These are all my EMDNs under the same EMDN code. So one product, and then you shovel all of the products in. And after a year later, you find out, oh my God, I made a mistake. It's not the correct EMDN code. Do a change notification. Then they say, oh, you need to do that. Yeah, so your product is already 1 year on the market. So you have proven the products on the market. So in case of post-market surveillance, you already created data. It's not what it was intended to be done. However, you can do such small mistakes to create data.
Exactly. So now I am a manufacturer. I choose my code. I send that to the notified body, and they say, no, I don't like that. What do we do then?
Then you do that, what every good lawyer does, we negotiate.
Okay.
And because there are sometimes some things are super clear, whereas notified body tells you no, that code will not fix. But sometimes there are codes which are in the directly on borderline. You can use this or that, and then you need to discuss that what will be the best for the notified body and you. Okay, let's assume this code works now with that part. It is okay to put it here. Yeah. But you should use the other one. Yes, but the other one, and then you can discuss it with notified body, because in many cases we've seen right now a lot of cases where it's not clear black and white. If it's black and white, since you can't or can do that. But if it's not black and white, you can really discuss about if that code fits. Right now we have one manufacturer who goes the way to assign a new EMDN code.
Okay.
Well, you can do that. It takes you a few years. So you don't want to do that to bring your product on the market. So first you select a different other code to bring the product on the market and fits the one who fits you best. Sometimes also reimbursement topics are relevant for a certain code. Therefore, you need to add that as well. And the notified body will need to have that part into the discussion as well. If you want to have reimbursement for a certain item, then it goes maybe in only left or right. And sometimes there are, for an EMDN code, 2 codes fitting. And then as a manufacturer, you need to decide what will be the best one for you. So notified body can tell you, no, we don't think it's correct. Then you iterate through the discussion with them 2-3 times, and then mostly go in and say, okay, if you really think that is your code you need to do, if you can back it up with sufficient data, then they do that normally.
Okay, no, great. You talked about that just a bit before, about sampling.
Yeah.
So MDR codes are also used for sampling. Can you precise a bit more about that and how you can maybe use this strategy? Because I think it's also an important thing to understand, because some people that have never been audited for medical devices, they may think that notified body will check everything, but no, they are sampling. So what is this sampling about MDR?
That is one of the greatest concepts we have here in Europe about certification. And that's something many startups, unfortunately, stall themselves by saying, oh my God, I need to go to the medical device, file assessment, technical file assessment every year, since they see the costs. Oh, my first year costs me 50K, so every year costs me 50K. No, that's not the case. There is surveillance. So you have initial certification, and then you have surveillance, then you have recertifications, then you have surveillance, certification. And that's a complete span. So you need to watch out. So, and for a class 2A products, the sampling is based on the so-called category of the devices. And that is the category of the devices, either an MDN or an MDA code. That's category, and that's for class 2A products. It is for class 2A products, or for an IVDR product, class B, it is done based on that sampling. Then we go on sampling means per code, per code, per certificate. So if you have an MDA code or MDN code on your certificate, for the complete validity of that certificate, 10% and at least one product needs to be sampled. That means if you have 8 products for an MDN code, for the complete 5 years of certificate validity, only 1 product will be sampled.
Exactly.
So every 5 years, 1 product until you're done. And then it starts again for the class 2A or class B product. When you go now with the class 2B products, those will not be sampled on the MDA and MDN code, but on the EMDN code. That's a so-called generic device group.
Yeah.
For IVDR, it's the EMDN code based on the third level. And for the MDR code, it's based on the EMDN code fourth level to make sure the sampling is based on that. And then also per certificate validity, per, in this case, generic device group, one product for the 5 years. And so that's how you can play with that. And that's what you need to do by initial certification. You play with the smallest product because then you have 5 years for the big one.
Exactly. And you can also try to imagine which product would be selected afterwards. I mean, so I had the chance sometime that the notified body asks me which one you want me to check, and then I give it.
That is super nice, and that's something you also challenge about whenever notified body creates a sampling planning with you, that you add prior to that no product, so but you reduce product so that you can challenge on that. If you want to remove them from the list anyway, you do that during that, and after the sampling plan is done, you add the new products. So that you can manage that a bit in a better way. There was a calculation with MDD already in the past, so that a very big manufacturer told me once that, well, we assume based on our codes and whatever we have, that each product will be sampled each 12 years.
Okay. 12
so
years.
We know the product, I can tell you when I bring it on the market, I have a likelihood that this product will be challenged 12 years.
Okay. So,
depending how much products you put on the market.
Great. Good to know. Okay, so I think we said everything about MDR and IVDR. Anything else that I missed here?
No, I think we've been pretty good on that. It is important that you put that coding straight into your strategies because that helps you a lot for achieving product milestones and certification milestones, and also makes your life more easy if you do that correctly.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we see that we can save some money sometimes, something. So yeah, don't hesitate to listen again what Stefan has said, because I think it will be important to understand that when you are starting a new certification with your products.
And one thing I want to add on that, especially when you talk about startups tend to build the biggest and greatest products they can do. Based on certification, that's a very bad idea.
Yeah. Do the minimum viable product.
Exactly. The smallest product fulfilling the intended purpose. That's the one for certification. During the certification time, you have for the initial certification, 12 to 18 months to make the product bigger. And based on your sampling, you can put it then on the list.
Exactly. Just with the same code, with the same things, because yes, usually we are just adding some functionality or things, but it's not like the different intended purpose. It's the same intended purpose, the same code, the same thing. So yeah,
same MDN, same MDA, same EMDN. Then you can put it on the list of your products as an update or as a new product, and then tell the notified body, here it is, and they will not look into that until your certification time is done. So
exactly.
The next certification round is.
Exactly. Okay, so I think it's great. So thanks again for all those information. Again, I don't know when this episode will be out, but you are going to Medica.
Yes.
You are making some discussion there. So I will try to make the episode come before Medica, but just for that. So what will be exactly the discussion you'll have there?
I will talk on Tuesday at Medica on the 12th of November in the afternoon on the Combamed around the topic AI Act and MDR, how you can make your lives as worse as possible.
As worse as possible, exactly. No, I think, and if you are in Medica, yes, go to Combine. I will be there anyway. I will try to record the speech and replay that on the channel. So, but if you are there, so don't hesitate. Let's do a gathering or a meetup there and discuss all together. Okay, Stefan, it was really a pleasure. Thank you again for all your explanation, and thank you for all the tips that can maybe save some time and money for all the people. And I wish you a nice day.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Bye.